Hi Stampers, this is super awesome Stamper Shirley Merker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, USA. Thanks for joining me today while I create this card. This card will be featured in my Suite of the Month for March 2021. So it's a program where I snail mail you card kits that you make, and you use the Suite products that you purchase to complete the kits. I think I'm also doubling up this design for my monthly kits in the mail ordering rewards as well. So if you got a link to this video, it's because you are enrolled in either of the two programs. So grab your kits, and you're looking for the kit that has got this light blue color. It's the Seaside Spray cardstock. Open it up and see what you got. So I'm going to set this aside. And before I get into the rest of the how to assemble the card, you need to pull on the Hydrangea Haven stamp set. So the photopolymer and also the Hydrangea dies. So this is part of the Hydrangea Hill Suite. So what's included in your kit would be 2 pieces of Whisper White. So one is for the inside, and then one is to stamp your hydrangea. A piece of 5x4 of the Designer Series paper. I'm choosing to have this bouquet look up. And then I've already cut a rectangular stitched framelit for you. There's a strip of this basic white so that you can cut all these flowers out with your dies. All right, so our first step is to do some stamping. So I am using the Gorgeous Grape ink pad, and before I do any stamping, let me pull in my paper piercing mat. Since I'm using photopolymer stamps, I always want to stamp on the paper piercing mat because that helps the ink to transfer a little more effectively. So Gorgeous Grape, so that it's a dark bold color. I'm done with that ink pad, so I'll set that aside. And next is the Highland Heather. So I'm going to do the circular splotchy one. I'm going to stamp off and then go over the hydrangea because I don't want it so dark we can't see all the outlines of the hydrangea petals. Okay, I'm going to just slide that up a little bit because we're going to reuse that ink pad. And then next is the Old Olive. So again, just stamp in, get this in the screen a little better. And then stamp off. And it's not a perfect match. It's supposed to look like a watercolor, so the ink will be outside of the leaf lines and the hydrangea lines. Okay, I'm done with the Old Olive ink pad. I'm going to set that aside. And then let's look at our sample again. What else do we need to stamp? We need to stamp this sentiment, "To an Incredible Woman." So I'm going to ink that up in the Highland Heather. I'm going to put that towards the top, try to get that centered. There we go. And then next, I'm going to move that out of the way. We'll use that again in a little second. Move your pearls out of the way so you don't lose those. And then let's pull in some things that I already die cut. So I've stamped this. I've already got it die cut. So that's what it'll look like when it's die cut. And then when you run that little strip of basic white through your Big Shot with this string of little hydrangea petals, this is what appears, or this is what is die cut out. All right. So again, bring back your supplies. And this was just a strip that I had. It's 3/4 of an inch. And then this fits perfectly on that 5-inch piece of pattern paper. Okay, so let's start assembling a few things up. So I've already pre-scored your Seaside Spray card base, but still grab your bone folder and kind of crisp that down. It'll help the card base lay flat while we are assembling. Okay, so our first layer on the front is going to be And you can decide, do you want this pattern up or do you want the bouquet up? I still like the bouquet up. Oh, and I should mention, before I attach that down, I do have on my sample card, this is been die cut using the, let me grab it. Okay, I decided to emboss that. I just couldn't do a card front that doesn't have embossing. So this is the new Painted Texture 3D embossing folder. So you can see what that looks like. It kind of looks like, you know, when you spackle paint on, texturize a wall, that's what it looks like. All right, so bring back in the piece that I've got adhesive on. And lay that down. Next layer is going to be your strip of florets. I don't know what the technical term is. Strip of flowers. And just grab your green glue and just do a light little stream of glue along the side. And I try to off-center the floret strips so that I had a little bit of an interest. Didn't try to center it, and I just added glue along that edge. Didn't worry about glue underneath here because I'm going to overlay this stitched rectangular piece. As long as I got my glue here, I might as well just use it. Okay. Have that at an angle. All right, and let me move a few things out of the way that we no longer need. That and that. Pop up your hydrangea that you have die cut. And I'm just using the minis, and the easiest thing with the minis is to use your take your pick tool to pick those up and set them where you'd want them. And I'll do 3 up here at the top. 1 towards the top and 1 more towards the center, or the stem. Okay, and you can also use your take your pick tool to kind of pull those backer sheets off if you need to. I just use my fingernail and kind of gather all those little pieces on my thumb and then try to make sure they go in the waste can. Okay, flip that over. And I kind of centered it so that I had more room for 2 pearls over there, but this time it kind of laid down where I could put 2 on the left and 1 on the right. Okay, and then let's work with the inside. So here's my sentiment that I applied or stamped already. And then I mentioned I'm going to use this Highland Heather ink pad again. So let me pull in my scratch sheet here. All these little florets, there is a right and a wrong side, so there's a little bit of embossing on them. So flip them up so that you've got the embossing facing up. You want the pretty side up. And I'm going to do, I only need 3, it made 9. And what I'm going to do is sequential inking. So very light on that one, a little more pressure on this one. I'm not going to re-ink in between. So I get an ombre look, gradations of color. So very light pressure on the first one. A little more pressure on the second one. And the most pressure on the last one. There. And then what I did with those little florets is I put them on the inside. So grab your green glue again. And the easiest thing I find with these little things is to put just a little dab of green glue where you want your little piece, instead of trying to put a little piece of green glue on a little tiny piece of flower. So I'm going to try to make sure I get the dark one attached first in the corner, and then a medium one right next to it. And a lighter one on top of it. So here's the card that I have, the sample card, and here's the card that I just created with you. So I hope you enjoyed creating with me, and let me show you again the products you need to finish the kits. You need the Hydrangea Haven stamp set and the coordinating hydrangea dies. And I'm going to show you the pattern paper that comes in this suite. So beautiful double-sided pattern. So what's on the back side of this is directly to the left. Lots of hydrangea, lots of bright color. If you love purple, you are going to love this suite. So on the opposite side of this one is more of a bouquet, kind of pinkish, rococo rose, peachish calypso coral. And this one is absolutely gorgeous too. This is great for scrapbook layouts. All right, and then I'm going to do a little catalog tour. So this suite of products is in the January to June mini catalog. It's on page 18 and 19. It's called Hydrangea Hill Suite. So if you purchase the suite collection, you'll receive one of these card making kits in the mail along with the second one. And what's included in the suite is one of each of the items on this page. So the stamp set, the dies, the acetate sheets, the ribbon, the pastels, and then the pattern paper I just showed you. And then here is the page showing you up close the size of all of the stamps and the coordinating die set, and then another concept artist sample right there. Isn't that gorgeous with the double colors of the flowers? All right, so I hope you enjoyed creating this card with me, and for more information on my Suite of the Month program, go to my blog at superawesomestamper.com and click on Suite of the Month. And while you're on my YouTube channel, make sure you like and subscribe to be notified when I load new content. All right, thanks everybody. Have a good day. Stamp with you soon. Bye.